think anytime I've been in the studio with Quincy, he'll inevitably ask, when are we going to start painting? When are you going to put the colors on it? And in the beginning, I was like, what? What are you talking about? What colors are we supposed to be painting with? He was talking about textures and adding that extra layer. That's probably what inspired me to go down this path. I mean, he would just say, pull up some sort of pad that we can use in the mix. So I mean, I basically pull up FM8.
Product FM X Flash FM8.
And it has a lot of character, but it's still cool. And then to make it work a bit better, I like things dry.
Timbre,
And let's mess with the
ENVANT, brightness, brightness.
Yeah. So yeah, that would be sort of the colors that Quincy would be looking for. I've been into music for as long as I can remember. One big thing that happened for me is that I lost my sight completely when I was 11. I was born with a disease that affected the eyes. And when that happened, a lot of distractions went away. And music really became the forefront for me. It was just where I spent all my time. Ever since I lost my sight, my brain has tried to compensate for the lack of visual input. What I see is all really imagined, and it's my brain taking what I hear and turning it into something that I see. Its colors and its shapes and textures, and it's always changing. So I've always kind of like, oh man, I'd love to be able to use native instruments. Then Complete Control comes out. Within a year of Complete Control and the keyboards being out, Native Instruments announced that it would be accessible and that it would use speech output so that blind users could get access to it. Game changer. I can't even state it enough how big of a deal it was to have this whole world now available to me, which I had always wanted to get access to, and they made it. They made it work with the accessibility features. The feature I love most as a blind user has to be the fact that they implemented this NKS standard. It allows me to kind of, I can just get lost in the music. But yeah, learning curve, it's a cinch. One very cool thing about the time we had in the studio was I had the keyboard on my laptop just set up in the control room, and Quincy was there, and the other producer on the project, Derrick Hodge, who I'm a huge fan of. We were able to, create in real time and be spontaneous and just see where the spirit took us. Another real go-to for me while we were in the studio was FM8. I think whenever I think about if I want any sort of synth sound, FM8 has been my first choice. I love the colors that I see when I load like the standard FM8 patches. It's usually between blue and green, a lot of these really nice aquatic colors. That's kind of what I see when I load a lot of those. So FM8 is all over the album. Having both Derrick and Quincy with us in the studio was mind-blowing for me. It's hard to really adequately express what a big deal it has been for me and a lot of blind musicians that Native Instruments made their flagship product accessible to people with low vision. There's a whole community of creators that doesn't feel held back and actually feels like, I can actually make these productions that I hear in my head. I can actually do stuff that sounds legitimately good. No longer does it sound like a demo. We can make fully finished and fully realized arrangements from beginning to the master. That's remarkable, and I honestly can't thank Native Instruments enough for doing that for a community of people who are just as creative as anybody else.